Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you.
Welcome to the Our Team Podcast. I'm really glad to have Randy Cameron on the show with me today.
Once again.
Yeah, I've been doing some of these podcasts alone, and it's kind of lonely. It's kind of lonely.
I just happened to be here today, huh? And you pulled me in.
If you're in the office, it's very likely you're gonna get sucked into my
your world.
My world.
This is your world over here too. It's pretty cool, actually.
I like the podcast studio is an extension of the office. Yep. I like how we're able to just interact with the office, and sometimes you know how everyone wants to have that really quiet studio type of thing when they're doing a podcast. I don't like that. I love it that sometimes we'll have 10 agents in here just doing their thing in the boiler room, and it's all noisy in the background, and that's why we started wearing headphones.
Yeah, because
we couldn't hear ourselves. They're so noisy during a podcast, But honestly, as long as they can hear us, we get our message out. So.
Well, I'm always over there in the background, and I'm listening to the kids talk about what's going on, and I think, well, Brian's doing a podcast right now. You guys got it. It's like,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's all good.
No big deal. Can roll with it.
So we have been on our team. We've been reading a lot of really good books, and I'm still going through and taking notes. My third time around on radical prospecting or fanatical prospecting.
Yeah.
If you are listening to this podcast right now and you don't know about the book Fanatical Prospecting, please go get it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one. And the first 4 or 5 chapters, you're kind of feeling like, wow, am I a loser?
Exactly.
Jeez, this is going to be like, why am I doing this to myself listening to this?
Yeah.
But then after about halfway through the book, not only do you feel more empowered, but the author starts to really deliver some really good suggestions on how to elevate.
Back up.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm at the place right now where, my second time, or no, I'm actually my third time through it, and I'm in chapter or section 23. I don't know what chapter that is because it's different on Audible, but we've talked a lot about the 3 dimensions of mental toughness, which is optimism, competitiveness, and then the need for achievement. Those 3 things are basically like the 3 dimensions of mental toughness. Because you got to be mentally tough if you're in sales.
Oh boy!
And you're prospecting, you got to be mentally tough.
Touching on that a little bit this morning too, and I was telling you, oh man, that's a good topic you're talking about because I don't feel like I've got that, and but you corrected my course.
Yeah,
set me back on it. You
do have it. You've got it because
you think we beat ourselves up more than we should a lot of times.
You always tell me that you really suck in that area, but then I look at your actual performance and I'm like, well, look how many deals you have on the board. And you are the guy that just you don't. You have mental toughness, just comes out in different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, look at your physique. I mean, mental toughness, you have to have it to look like
my wife the other day. We were talking about just goals for this next coming year and how we want to change. I want to change this thing. Like I got up early this morning instead of going to the gym at 12 noon. I went to the gym at like 6 o'clock this morning, and I said, you know what? Nothing gets in my way of my workout, but things will get in my way of fanatically prospecting.
That's right. Isn't that crazy?
So yeah.
Well, I want to go a lot deeper this year with a lot of things that I want to tap into some really good stuff in 2024 that I have access to that I haven't been taking advantage of. And that a lot of that has to do with EXP because I do want to, we have so many incredible senior partners. There's they're incredible. And they they want to help. They want to elevate it.
That is so awesome about this company.
I know. Yep. So I'm just going to really go deep, go way deeper with EXP. So if you are one of my senior partners and you're hearing this podcast,
I'm ready for a phone call.
Get ready for multiple phone calls. And all that. They already do it. They already have so many things in place that's already helping us so much. But we talked about the 3 dimensions of mental toughness. Last week we did a podcast where we talked about 6 foundations of grit, right? You have to have grit in sales, and that was faith, persistence, tenacity, resilience, hustle, and a winning mindset. Okay. But today we're going to wrap up this sort of mini series of the notes that I've been taking from fanatical prospecting. And this is 4 pillars of mental toughness in sales, right? You have to be mentally tough, right? And I think if you have toughness, then you're probably going to be good at any job. I mean, even if you're a nurse, right? You got to be tough at your job. You got to. And so
you got to be tough in this world right now, or you're going to get ran over in what you're right in whatever you do.
That's better said, I think.
Yeah.
You got to be tough just to survive right, these days.
Going to the grocery store.
and look what happens to the people that aren't tough.
Oh.
Right? They're just completely trampled on. So I don't want to be one of those people.
No.
So 4 pillars of mental toughness. The first one is desire. Okay, desire. Cool. Why did he even put that on the list? Well, desire. It's the starting point of achievement. Desire. What are your thoughts on that?
Makes total sense.
Yeah, you have to want it.
You gotta want to. Exactly.
You have to.
Where a lot of people are, and I'm in that boat too. It's like if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. So if you have to do something to, I don't know. Guess where I'm going is, you got to want it.
You have to have that desire. So we're talking about the pillars of mental toughness in sales, and if you don't want to do sales or you don't want any part of it, then it doesn't matter. None of this matters. You're always going to be defeated because you have to want it, right? You have to have desire. You're going to be, mentally tough in that industry.
I'll say just in this business, because we've heard of how many people have gotten out of it and not able to pay their annual dues and whatnot, and they're moving on to something else. You don't have to necessarily want to be number one,
right?
You just got to want to survive. I would say, just you've got to want to just be there. You've got to want to do what you've decided to do.
Remember a couple of weeks ago during one of our meetings, I was talking to the team, encouraging them about how sometimes shooting for being number one it can become the enemy, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to. It's okay to not be perfect. Just do a little every day and get a little bit better every day. And you can apply that to your prospecting. Okay, I made 5 calls today. Tomorrow I'm making 6. Then it's going to be 7. Then by the time you kind of get through the month, you're making 25, 30 calls per day, and they're having meaningful conversations, and next thing you know, your pipeline is filling up like crazy. And that's it. It's just not. It's not about saying, okay, I got to sit down and make 100 calls today. Gosh. Well, if you're not there yet,
no,
you're never going to get it. So that would be like the perfect amount of calls, right? Well, geez, you can't do that from the beginning. Then don't beat yourself up about it. Just make a few calls.
Well, that's where every coaching program that I've been in throughout the years, it's always there's a base you got to start at. You go to these seminars and these events, and you come out all fired up, and then you get on the coaching program, or they get you to sign up, because you want to. But then I want to make $1 million this year, and it's like, well, man, you made 50,000 last year.
What are you going to do to move the needle that far?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they beat their
10x.
But you got to have the desire. You have to really want it. You have to know what you want. You have to know how to get it, right? And so that's going to be being around the right people. If you're going to have something that if you're going to do something that starts with desire, then I believe that you should be hanging around people that can kind of keep you in it to win it, right? It's
most definitely.
It's who you hang out.
Absolutely.
Hang out with other people that have a lot of desire to do that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't even know really what we want or how we want or what. But being around the right people and seeing what they're doing and how they're achieving success, then you go, oh, okay, well, that's what I want.
Right.
And then you figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is mental resilience. Right?
Well, yeah.
The second pillar of mental toughness, mental resilience. So mental resilience comes from being a fanatical learner. Right?
Okay.
Fanatical prospecting, yes, but fanatical learner. And I'm living up to my promise to the team and to everyone that I've spoken this out to the universe. I am going to do a lot more reading and a lot more learning this year. And I heard Brent Gove say, if you want to be a better leader, then be a better learner. Just be learning all the time. Learn. And so I'm really doing that.
Well, it goes back to the line, lead by example.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't expect everybody else around you, even though you are leading. You can't expect them to do what you're not doing.
Yeah, that's true.
And as if
we're all independent contractors on this
Right.
team, right? So I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make you do anything.
No.
But I'd sure like you to do this because it's something it's valuable and will help you and all that. So
yeah.
Mental resilience comes from being a fanatical learner. Always be learning. If you outlearn, then you will out-earn your competition.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense too.
Absolutely.
If you look at it, yeah.
Outlearn
Sure.
in order to out-earn your competition. And that can be in so many different things, right? I mean, you should know more about the neighborhood than someone else that's a buyer's agent. You should know more about the schools than someone else that's a buyer's agent. You should know more about the house. It's kind of funny. I believe sometimes the best real estate agents are agents that know how to build a house and know how everything works.
Sure.
It's so, because it's like Randy, not Randy, excuse me, you're Randy.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah.
He's been in construction for many years.
Yeah.
He knows how to build a house. He literally knows how to build a house.
Right.
So, and he's a home inspector. So when he's talking to people about the house, he doesn't just say, looks like there might be a leak over there or something. He's or talking about different appliances and different things. He knows his stuff. And so he's learned a lot, so he's going to out-earn in those areas.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's helped me in my dealing with helping clients along too. It's my background in the whole construction stuff too. It's been just it's fun. It's amazing. 20 years in that trades.
Yeah,
how it really helps.
Definitely. And back to the topic of learning. I think the best. Of course, when I talk about learning, I'm talking about doing masterminds, being involved in Facebook groups where you're interacting with, maybe people that are your senior partners in your business, I should say workplace, that it's podcasts, it's going to seminars, it's going to, learning new things down at the board, right? And a big one for me is books. I don't have time to sit and read and thumb through a book, but I do have time to listen to a book and take notes.
Yeah.
And I can, if I open up my tablet and I start taking notes on a book I'm listening to, I get so much
That's
more
pretty
out of it.
powerful there.
It's the
when you
way
do
to
that.
go.
Absolutely.
Now, if I listen without taking notes, then I kind of get into like a highway hypnosis kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I hear the guy say, Chapter 7.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Wait a minute, rewind.
I don't remember Chapter 6. I just listened to it for 10.
Yeah.
So
I know. I catch myself doing that all the time.
Yep.
So it's hard for me to get through one.
Take
Because
notes.
I'm just reading it again.
The reason we even having this podcast right now is because I took notes on this chapter. And it meant a lot to me. So I decided I want to share this with the world. Maybe they were not going to read this book, but these are some good points. So I wanted to share them. So if you were to, I learned in this chapter that if you were to read just 15 minutes a day, then you will easily get through a minimum of 20 books per year.
That's amazing.
Can you imagine? 20 books per year. And you know what's even crazier? You won't run out of books. There's millions of books. Millions.
Well, the last 3 or 4 that you've recommended or that we've seen together are ones I never heard of these,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're good, huh?
They're amazing, and they've been out for years. It's like, why didn't I, Yeah.
I've been recommended books before that I can't really get into, and so I find myself kind of skipping through. I always can find some good nuggets. Mm-hmm. One book that was recommended to me, and I just can't seem to make it happen, is Winning on Purpose. I heard that.
I've heard of that one too.
That book's been recommended to me by so many different people.
I think I might have that in the paperback version.
Really?
As a matter of fact, I think I do.
Winning on Purpose.
Yeah.
I recommend it because everyone has, but I can't get into it. So anyway, but look, the point is that I'm making a conscious effort to work on my mental resilience, and that is through learning. So the third thing is physical resilience. This is something you know nothing about.
No.
But physical resilience is a very important pillar to mental toughness.
Okay.
And, Jeb Blunt spent a lot of time on this when he was talking about this whole topic. Regular exercise, getting enough sleep, and eating healthy. Those 3 things are huge.
Sure.
I don't agree with what he said about, he said the most important meal of the day is breakfast. He's overstepping his knowledge there. I do not believe that's a very important. I think we should all train ourselves to not have breakfast. If you like breakfast, that's fine. Just have it way later in the day.
Sure. Yeah.
But
especially what you're having.
When you get,
I think that's more of the key.
Definitely is.
But
but you decide what eating healthy is to you. I mean, we can do a whole podcast on what I think it is for me, because I know how to take it off, and I know how to keep it off. But and I know how my vitals are now compared to the way they were.
Yeah.
I know how to reverse. I was a diabetic, basically full blown, and I'm no longer that. So something's working, and so I'm speaking with some real knowledge in that area. So when I hear someone say something about diet that I totally disagree with, it kind of makes me go, I need to call him. Hey, get Jeb Blunt.
Get clarification.
He called me, the author of the book. He has an organization called Sales Gravy.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. It's all about all the stuff he talks about in his book. It's all broken down, and even he really trains and teaches people that are doing sales that are required to do prospecting, and he's really good. So I get this call, hey Brian, it's Jeb Blunt. You signed up for this and that and the other, and you were, and I'm like, I know this is not really Jeb Blunt. And he's like, no, this is Jeb Blunt. And I go, oh yeah, okay, I recognize your voice, because he's the one that read the book.
Yeah.
And it was trippy that somebody that famous actually called me to, sell me on their program.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I had Mike Ferry call me one time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mike, is this really you?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, Randy, this is me. He says, I'm calling to just check on you and see. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on here?
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So wow.
So physical resilience is very important.
So did he want to sign you up and get you?
He did. He totally did. And and I said, I'm not at a place right now where I can do that. It's very expensive. But I'm consuming all your content, and I love that you're out there. And he's like, well, how'd you hear about us? And I told him, and he said, I'm just curious, why did you sign up? And I said, the reason I signed up, and I know you can appreciate this.
This is great. Yeah.
I wanted to see what it looked like to be in your prospecting web. Your books are very powerful about how to prospect and the cadence of prospecting and how to text and what to say and not to say in a text. And I kind of wanted to test you. So I went in and I decided to become, a prospect.
Yeah.
And so I am a prospect. So I'm not going to unsubscribe from any of your stuff, because I want to sort of see how you do. And so every week I am marketed to by him and his company to sign up for Sales Gravy. And man, is he good. It's good.
It's like you're surprised you're turning it down.
That's right. And I get a phone call about every, 4 weeks, something like that. Maybe it's three weeks. I get regular texts, and they're all just very kind, cool, and all they offer value.
Yeah.
They're not saying, hey, just checking in. Are you ready for this? You never.
We're having a sale. You can get you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You never ever just check in with a prospect. That's never. You always have a purpose for the call.
Got to offer value too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, this is Brian. The reason I'm calling is
Gotcha.
And that's, you've got to have a reason, and that reason should involve something like, hey, I just wanted you to be aware that rates have come down a lot, and they're going to be coming down more. Last month we were talking about how crazy high they were, but have you seen how low they are now?
Yeah.
And then you start a conversation.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're
that's right.
Writing a contract up for them.
There's people listening to this podcast right now that are afraid to make calls for a lot of reasons, but mainly because they just don't know what to say.
Well, that's,
Well, I just gave you a really good reason to call everyone in your database.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if they're not a buyer? What if they're a seller?
What if?
If someone is selling their house, they are a buyer.
Right.
So you've been on the fence about selling your home because you're at such a low rate. Did you know they're probably going to get into the low fives?
Yeah.
I mean, so with that,
they're already in the fives, so that's pretty cool.
So with that in mind, I think we're probably getting a little bit closer to listing your home, right? I mean, this might not be for you, but
what most people are doing,
but most of my clients are jumping all over it because they've
been holding off and waiting for the right time, and
so make those calls.
Yeah.
So so far we've got into 4 pillars. We've got desire, mental resilience, physical resilience, regular exercise, getting enough sleep, and eating healthy. The 4th thing is feed your attitude. So be positive. Be thankful. I think gratitude is probably the cornerstone. It is the cornerstone of good attitude. Did you hear what Stephanie said earlier today? She said, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't get anywhere unless you fix it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, somebody like you would probably say, that's bullcrap. I can drive on a flat tire.
And I have.
We all have, my friend. But that's a great line.
Yeah, sure.
Attitude is
good one,
like
Steph.
It is. You got to fix it. You're not going to get anywhere with a bad attitude.
No.
And if you have a bad attitude, then stop for a second and be grateful for what you have, because
contagious too a little bit,
It
so
is.
you don't want to. Yeah.
So choose to believe that failure is not an option, that winning is a choice. A bad attitude means you start to lose your winning edge, and you're never going to win. You're already losing with a bad attitude. So if you find yourself in a place where your attitude kind of just sucks, you can snap out of it real quick with gratitude. Be grateful.
Right.
There's so many things to be thankful. Just stop and start, counting up all the blessings.
It's amazing how that. I go to this all the time. I don't know if I said this maybe the last time we got together on the podcast, but it's how quickly you can be in a state of just crappiness.
Yep.
And nothing really changed but your attitude.
Right.
You're still in this. You're. I can't remember what event it was. Maybe it was a Tony Robbins thing or something like that. And we were talking about. He said, "Think of the most crappiest situation you've ever been in, or something."
Yep.
And then he said, "Okay, think about that. Now I want you to stop thinking about that, and I want you to start thinking about the best time you were ever in.
Yeah.
The greatest event that was happening, and see how you're still sitting in that chair, but you went from being so non-productive to being on the top of your game.
Incredible.
It's amazing how that can
mindset and attitude.
Yeah, there's all these things you're talking about here.
It's very cool. Misery loves company, and it wants you on the team. Right?
Yeah.
It wants you on the team.
No kidding.
So don't have a bad attitude and be miserable. Snap out of it. And you can, like you just said, you can snap out of it. So So that's it. Those are the 4 pillars of mental toughness in sales. And there's so much good good.
Oh yeah,
info
you
in
can go
that
way
book.
deeper into all
Oh,
these
yeah.
topics.
Yeah. But that's all I have. I'm glad you
Well,
were
cool.
here. You made it a lot better.
Oh,
Much
did I?
better.
Instead of just talking like that? Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise,
Well,
it's just me and
there's no prepping for this kind of stuff. I'm just in there, and hey, you want to come on in? I said, sure, let's do it, man. Well, I didn't say that right out of the gate, though, did I? I said,
No, you were.
You had to ask me twice.
I did have to ask you twice. I should never have to ask you twice.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Well, listen, if you
It was a
found
good
any
time, good time.
value in any of this, then please like, subscribe, do all those things you're supposed to be doing to support what we're doing here. And if you have any questions about what we do in real estate, or if you want help with your business and you think that we're in a position where we can help you, then please reach out. There's no strings attached. We'd love to help you. You can reach out to Randy. He's easy to get a hold of. You can reach out to me through whatever channel you're listening to or watching. We're easy to get a hold of.
Yep.
And all right.
Here to help.
That's it.
All
We're
right,
out of
brother.
here. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, buddy. Perfect.